Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live from Championship Sunday at CWL Anaheim 2017, presented by PS4. I am Dirk. Joined alongside me is Landon. We guys are going to be bringing you a great match here. We have Cloud9, who struggled in day one, but they have found a resurgence, and they have been climbing through the losers bracket. 3-1 has been the map count for every match that they have played thus far, and Evil Geniuses got the quick work in 3-0 to get knocked down to losers.
Indeed they did. I want to go over this run that Cloud9 has been making. Of course, excuse me for looking down, but I just have to because the amount of teams is absolutely difficult to try and remember. So they take out ALG in Game 5. Last night, they ended up taking down FaZe in a 3-1 fashion. They beat E United in a 3-1 fashion. And they also just recently beat Red Reserve in a 3-1 fashion as well. And trying to extend that spree is this Cloud9 roster absolutely being a major nuisance when it comes down to that losers bracket.
Definitely, and on your screen, you're going to see the maps that we are going to be playing in this series. We're going to be starting off with Throwback Hardpoint. Then for Search and Destroy, we'll be jumping right into Crusher. Then the uplink map is going to be Frost. And if we have to go to distance for 4 and 5, it'll be a Breakout Hardpoint and a Throwback Search and Destroy.
DB2, of course, loading in here toward Throwback Hardpoint for map number 1. Attack of the Saucer Clones. Be a good movie to watch. This might be a better one, though. Should be a fantastic series as we begin this one. Cloud9, Evil Geniuses, a best of 5, kicking it off here on Throwback. And Dirk, who are we watching to start us off?
We're going to start off with Assault. Me and you stayed around to watch that FaZe match, and Assault had some choice words for Clayster. He's been a man who had a slow start to the tournament, but he's been picking it up as of late as well. But first blood is going to be drawn from the side of Evil Geniuses, and that is going to be from Nagafin.
Nice shots there coming in from Nagafin early on. He's going to be starting off nice 3-0. Of course, Nagafin not necessarily known to pull out the MV4 at all times, but definitely doing work with it right now on a 4 spree and guaranteeing Evil Geniuses a lot of early time right now. Unfortunately, it does drop, but that's going to guarantee. You see what the kills mean when it comes in a hard point. He completely clears out that entire left lane over toward bike path from his team's angle. And that's going to guarantee EG a lot of seconds when it comes to this early train platform, which is a very difficult hard point to hold at that.
And Evil Genius is getting a lot of good time here on the first one, but the spawns are going to be in favor from the side of Cloud9. Look for those rotations to start to come in, but you're already seeing it come on the wall run there. It's going to be Nagafin as well as Nameless. They're pushing straight into Barn, but they have players to deal with in the back. Some premature shots coming in from Nagafin there. Now the position is going to be given away. But look at Cloud9. They're perfectly fine to say, you guys sitting there and we'll try to execute a pinch. You see players 1 and 3 trying to come around. But Nagafin finds one, but it's immediately going to be traded out there by Eggs. And Priest and Exotic starting to go to work as well as the hill is being controlled by Cloud9.
And some players that I definitely want to be watching out for either side. And I mean, honestly, for the side of Evil Geniuses, I mean, in some of the casts that we've had so far, Dirk, it has been the Nameless show. Every time the EG has had their success, it's been due to the fact of that man there. Kind of acts in some cases as like a Dave from Epsilon. Nameless works the same way for EG. I'm also curious to see how Nagafin plays due to his fantastic start. His shot seems to be firing on all cylinders. So for EG, I'm definitely looking at both Nameless and Nagafin. Just as I say that, Ake showing me why we should be looking at him as well. 7 spree for him, but you also have to be looking at the new recent additions to this roster, both Exotic and Priesta. For what I've been hearing and seeing from some of the analysts is that they have been absolutely going off, and Ake's showing why the veterans still do it just a little bit better, as he's going to go on a nice spree and guaranteeing a lot of time when it comes down to Barn. But a number of different players to watch from Cloud9, but I've got my eyes on both Exotic and Priesta.
Definitely showing some glimpse of vintage Patty P there to start off this one. Had himself going on a 9 streak. Now he's sitting at 11 and 3 and does have full streaks to go too. But he's not going with the Scare, the Trinity, the Bombardment. He's going to have that Trinity Rocket, the Scorchers, as well as the Bombardment ready to go. And that can be like really lethal. I mean, we see the Scare coming to play at times, but that just shows how aggressive and how much more attacking you're going to be. You're going to see a similar setup from Nagafin as well on the kill streaks. But now this hill down a bike path is going to be going towards Evil Geniuses. But here you see the Scorchers come into play, and Aches is going to find himself too.
Nice play there from Aches, of course, using the streaks to good use. 13 and 4 start for him. Not a guy that you're always going to see heavily when it comes down to the slaying battle, but he gets it done when he has to. The losers bracket run has happened for a reason. It's been due to the fact of everyone, not just 2 or 3 players. It's been for the entire team, and Aches showing why that's exactly the case is Exotic. Starting to light it up when it comes down to bike path, as well as the rotation will come in toward baseball field. It looks like the way that Cloud9 is rotating, they actually do get the scrap points as well as that next rotation.
Assault's going to be the first play inside of the hill for the side of Cloud9. You're going to see the 4-man hit coming from the side of Bowling for Evil Geniuses. You see the split. 3 going over towards that mid-cut, and then 1 pushing through the back of Bowling. Shots are going to be traded there, but Assault is going to be able to get the nasty kill there on Nails. That shuts him down, but Evil Geniuses now has control. Assault got himself out of position to try to save his life, but now Parasite is on the hunt for him.
You know, Assault does a good job of just staying alive for, of course, as long as possible until Parasite's there to shut him down. But basically what happens there is he's trying to hold down his lane, but unfortunately for the side of Cloud9, they weren't able to kind of hold every other angle. Assault can really only do so much when looking at a certain area on the map. So with that, it's going to be Cloud9 currently with possession for a moment. EG and them going back and forth right now. The MV4 battle is definitely rating true as Parasite and Nameless cleaning it up at the moment. Priesta also drops. Havoc getting involved in the kill feed. He's going to be on a nice 3 spree. So as the first set of rotations do conclude, it's going to be Cloud9 with a little bit of an advantage. They're going to be up 97 to 75.
We talked about Nameless a lot yesterday and how much he was able to go off, but another person who was going off and doing everything on his own was Havoc as well. He was dropping high numbers in that slaying department, and it's just a question between Havoc and Nagafin all the same time. It's just trying to figure out, can these guys slay with the best one? Havoc has had that on display so far here at CWL Anaheim. Now we're going to be in our second set of rotations. Assault's going to be the player inside of the hill, but he will be taken out. That's by the hands of Parasite. Nameless now jumping up on top train, trying to get into this power position, but he's going to be shut down by 2 players from Cloud9.
Yeah, when we do talk about this middle train platform, this hill plays a lot different. It's very hectic, a lot of gunfights going down, a lot of E-rads as well. And that's exactly what we saw EG do when it came down to the first set of rotations on this particular hardpoint. We see Nagafin have a fantastic start, of course, in some ways kind of slowing down a little bit, currently sitting at -2, 11, and 13, but that's exactly what just one player can do for this team. You start to light things up, you start to hold down a lane, and you can easily grab a number of different seconds, and it really doesn't matter the hardpoint, at least when it's came down to Anaheim. A number of different teams have been showing up and really doing damage when it comes down to just about every single hill, but if there is one to highlight, it is going to be Barn. It looks like Cloud9 currently in possession of that hill, but only for the moment. EG trying to force their way forward. Havoc in a big gunfight versus Priesta, trying to find him. Priesta currently sitting at 1 shot, actually ends up getting found out, so that's now going to be the side of EG getting those spawns, and now it looks like they could even potentially take the lead with this hold.
And the setup that they have going right now, you have Nagafin positioned in mid-map, is sort of similar to how Epsilon plays this map. They have the 1 player sitting over there to stop anybody who comes to that push, basically forces everybody over to blue, but now Nagafin falls, and you see the break start to come in, but the defensive play comes in from Havoc as he picks up a 2-piece. Adding on to that is going to make it a 5-kill streak, sitting at 20 and 10. 1 player to his left. He is going to get caught with his pants down. Exotic is going to be able to pick up that kill, but now you see a clean sweep of the players from Evil Geniuses, and just like that, Cloud9 takes the lead.
You see Cloud9 immediately forcing their attention toward that next rotation here, trying to make sure that while they do have control, the next hill, Priesta actually finds 2. Nice play there. But like I said, Cloud9 trying to force the issue, realizing that scrap points over in Barn are important, but they want to make sure they have control over this next hill. That's going to be on Bike Street. Player number 6, Parasite, the first one going to be inside of the hard point. That's going to be for the side of EG. So while EG took the lead for a time, that's now Cloud9 starting to fire back. Lead changes constantly. This has been a very heavily contested heads. Definitely butting so far at the beginning of this match, Dirk.
Exotic is on a 4-kill streak. He's going to be positioned over here in the middle of the map. Spots 1 top ticket. He takes him out. That's going to be Nagafin. Now 1 more player trying to play for the trade. It's going to be Havoc, and he whips out the E-Rad, and he's able to do Havoc dirty. Now continuing his streak onto 6, and the setup from Cloud9 is great, but it's all going to start there with a big 2-piece coming in from Parasite to break that setup.
Yeah, you also can notice Exotic was double negative until that streak went on, so definitely players to be watching out for. Exotic starting to show up. From what I've heard, he's had a fantastic tournament so far, and of course the reasoning being why Cloud9 is currently in possession of that lead. EG trying to slim that one, just speaking of it, as it will be Nagafin grabbing those last few points. Rotation coming in toward baseball field, and here come the streaks. Aches using those, just trying to find at least a few players, trying to watch those anchors toward the back, because actually 3 do go down, so nice play there coming in from the side of Cloud9. Parasite trying to find 1. Exotic is able to find him. Nagafin trying to respond, but no, Assault has a fist to the face. Nagafin absolutely gets met with that one, and now it's going to be Cloud9 trying to rush their way on. This has been such a head-to-head battle. Gunfights going down constantly, many lead changes, but it's going to be Cloud9 who are currently in control of that one, along with the hardpoint itself.
Control of the hill they are, and it's going to be Patrick Price inside. It's going to be Eggs. He finds 1 on Nagafin, who utilizes that FTL jump, but is going to be quickly shut down. Now he's going to be inside of the hill, and you can see Cloud9 slowly starting to pull away here. 3 players from Evil Genius just ready to make a push. It's going to be led there by Nagafin. He's on the ground, and Assault is going to be able to pick him off with that MV4. Assault finds 1 more as well. He was on a 3-kill streak before being shut down, but no way can Evil Geniuses get inside. Cloud9 putting up a good defensive hold.
Do they do? And of course, one player to be looking at right now from Cloud9 has definitely been Aches, 26 and 18, along with nearly a minute inside of that hard point. We talk about the communication, the leadership that he brings, and honestly, the talent that he's been bringing up for a number of different times. Of course, we do talk about Assault and Lacefield toward the beginning of this Cloud9 roster. Of course, dropping Lacefield in some cases along with Ricky, and brings on 2 other major young guns, some very talented players in the scene as well. Exotic coming from a number of different teams, of course, specifically like TK, as well as the Gosu crew recently. Priesta as well coming from the Gosu crew, along with Panda in the past. So he obviously is a very good player when it comes down to kind of scouting out younger talent, and along with the gun skill that he provides, Aches really is the complete player.
He definitely is. It's definitely a man's wing that you want to be under as the game does progress throughout the entirety of Infinite Warfare, and as we head into World War II as well. But Aches is going to be the player doing that OBJ work inside. He has that Centurion ready to go, but look for him to bring that out when we do rotate over towards Barn, and they're getting set up. It's going to be Priesta in the back with the Eran. This is going to be a big gunfight going down. Nameless pops the camo. He's investing a lot into this. The reactive armor counter comes in, and Priesta takes out Nameless.
Beautiful play there from Priesta. The counter with the reactive armor works absolutely perfectly, but here comes one player from behind. Priesta trying to find this one as well. He's also able to drop him, and just like that, that's going to be the side of Cloud9 looking in a prime spot to potentially take this, but EG, they found a lane. They're trying to get inside. They're desperately trying to shut down the Centurion, and it looks like Nameless will be able to do that. Cloud9 now looking to try and retake potentially. Exotic sitting here over toward that silo side, tries to enter in while being one-shot. Can he actually find this player toward the back? Just aiming at every angle possible. And it looks like the Hill is going to be in control of Priesta, winning a major gunfight, but EG is going to be there. Parasite finding that, and gunfights will continue to go down. Aches wins that fight, but Nameless still wants a piece of the pie. He wants to get inside of the hard point. Havoc will respond. A team nade comes in. Constant chaos happening right now in the map. And it looks like Cloud9 is going to hold on to this. They can't win off this hard point. They will get very, very close, but they're going to have to be on that rotation. And EG, you have got to play perfect.
Yeah, like you said, picture perfect playing needed from EG here. Parasite's going to be the first player inside of the Hill. Just 2 more seconds is what Cloud9 needs to take map number 1. So far, so good. They're able to slay out inside, but now it's going to be Priesta trying to come in with the hot break. He's coming around from Ticket, but he's going to be shut down there by Nagafin. Assault's going to be able to find one of his own. Now 3 players drop from the side of Cloud9. Now Exotic is left by himself to try to contest. And if you're Cloud9 here, you make one last push of this and you try to set up for baseball. You have a lots of time to give away. Actually, no, it's going to be 30 seconds. For some reason, I'm thinking the score is completely different. Assault utilize that camo. They go in, but now the hold is going to be coming from Nameless. He finds another one, but the slide is going to come in. Priesta sees 1 more second, and just like that is going to be Cloud9 taking the game 250 to 203.
That lead was just too strong for the side of Cloud9. EG did all they could toward the end, but it was just such a massive lead built up for the guys on Cloud9 that EG really couldn't do too much there toward the end. It was a good active camo usage from Assault to try and get inside. He had some teammate support, but in the end, only 2 more seconds needed. It's incredibly difficult to get that one done. So major credit to the guys in Cloud9 though. And in quotes there, you have to put Aches as well as Priesta definitely doing the damage when it came down to that map number 1 as they obviously closed that one out 250 to 203.
Yeah, right down to the wires that one went. And like you said, we have to highlight that play there at the very end too, where Nameless popped that camo and it was counteracted by Priesta. That was just such a great play.
Oh yeah, the reactive armor definitely comes into use. He ends up finding, obviously, Nameless toward the side, and I think he ends up shutting down Nagafin toward that right side near back. Grandma's completely shutting down what could have been an EG spawn and manipulation, but in the end, it was obviously Cloud9 due to some major plays coming in from both Priesta and Aches at the most, kind of solidifying that game for them. But also, we do have to focus our attention when it comes down to this next search and destroy. In some cases, this is not, this hard point wasn't exactly what we'd expect to see EG take. So when it comes down to the search and destroy, I think they definitely feel more comfortable. And for the side of Cloud9, I would expect them to take this game mode. So with that, while I am, it is a little bit obviously worrying for the EG guys to be down 0-1, this is a game mode where they definitely feel a lot more comfortable in.
Yeah, I mean, they're finding some down 0-1 as well, and they're 0-4 on the day in map count. They lost the Search and Destroy to the Luminosity game, which is something important to highlight just because Luminosity Search and Destroy, this event specifically, it looked like it's going back to how it used to be. They've been very inconsistent with it, to say the least. I mean, there was a time there where we started looking at Luminosity like, wow, these guys can play Search and Destroy pretty good again, but this event, it's looked a little shaky for them as well. So you have to think, what's the mindset of Evil Geniuses? We talked yesterday about Nameless kind of feeds off of that getting down and getting his team together and getting them hyped up. But let's go ahead and jump right into the box score from that last hardpoint game. See everything pretty spread evenly, but that money hill, we always talk about Barn. 93 seconds going towards Cloud9.
Yeah, 93 to 51. When it comes down to Barn, I mean, that's obviously a huge hill to hold just due to the fact of the spawn manipulation that you can hold toward that back market side. Along with that, just due to the narrow entry points that Barn does possess, there's obviously 3 different angles that you can make your way through hay toward back fruit, as well as coming in from field from silo. So it's a very difficult angle to kind of hold. That's obviously why it is such an easy hard point to hold if you are the defensive team, due to those difficult lanes to enter in if you are on offense. But with that, of course, you can start to see a little bit of a breakdown for what we ended up witnessing, and obviously major players should be looking at 32 kills coming in from Aches, along with 88 seconds, 1.39 overall KD for him. Not exactly what you're going to see always from Aches. But that's what I said. Cloud9, they're here for a reason. They made this losers bracket run due to all of them having their best moments.
Yeah, then we highlighted Parasite there, 16 kills, 0.59 KD. Not what you expect from him, but did carry the team in hill time as well. I think he sat at around 80 seconds in that one. But now we said this is the game type that heavily favors Evil Genius, but how are they going to be able to bounce back from this? It wasn't a complete blowout. I believe 50 seconds really is what separated these two teams. And it looks like for a second that Evil Geniuses might be able to get the majority of the time left on that bike path and then continue on from there. But it was all Cloud9 in that hard point. But now in the search and destroy, Evil Geniuses, their backs are against the wall. We've seen them in a position like this before, sort of similar to yesterday as well. They're capable of doing it, and it's all going to be head by Havoc and Nagafin.
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought those 2 players up, because I was getting ready to say the exact same thing. When it comes down to Evil Geniuses, 2 guys that you want to be looking at are both Nagafin and Havoc. Back in Black Ops 3 for their respective squads at different times, and of course joining forces here in Infinite Warfare, they were known for being absolute dons when it came down to search and destroy, whether it was their clutch ability, whether it was their sniper rifle play, their aggressiveness when it came down to search and destroy. These guys know the game mode, they play it constantly, and they're always someone that's a major threat to walk around the map if you are their opposition.
Players are getting loaded in here. Map number 2 is close to getting underway. It's going to be Cloud9 leading the series 1 home in a win-or-go-home match against Evil Geniuses. Going to start off this one with the offensive team. I'm going to stay on board with Assault to see what he's going to do. Like we said, this is a man who had a slow start to the tournament on Friday, but ever since Saturday, he's been able to pick it up. See what he's going to do. He has that bomb in hand. I wonder if he saw the players coming from mid. He's going to get the call there. There's at least 3 players in the middle of the map, but they're still heading towards over to this B site. The Flechette is going to come in.
And it looks like the side of Evil Genius is playing pretty passively for the most part, but of course making that rush around. And it looks like they're going to kind of flip the spawns in some cases. Of course, this has happened in Search and Destroy, but kind of trading places in some instances. Eggs actually spawning Parasite. Parasite just trying to make his way back. He actually ended up spawning Eggs toward that back rock side. So Cloud9 forcing their way through. Nameless now going to be on the pinch. None of the opposition players from Cloud9 know this is actually coming through. Nameless trying to find at least 1, tags him up, but can he finish this kill up first? Priest actually has 2 against him, and now Havoc is actually going to be on the defuse, and I don't think Cloud9 knows that he's there. They're trying to get here in time, and can they do it? No, it's not going to happen. Havoc is able to get the ninja defuse in. A beautiful bait play coming in from the side of EG. They try and flank around, but Havoc is just too quick for them. A great round there from the side of EG. Heads up play for them as a narrow round goes their way.
And that's where you know Nameless was just saying to Havoc, stick to the fuse, stick to the fuse, stick to the fuse. And he did just that, got it by a hair. But nonetheless, it gets them the round win. But give credit to Nameless, too. Stayed alive as long as he could. Havoc was ready on that one as those gunfights were going down and stayed alive just long enough. So now heading into round number 2, it's going to be Evil Geniuses on the offensive. Nameless is going to be the bomb carrier here. One player is going to be positioned at back rock. That is going to be Assault with the MV4.
It's very difficult to shut this man down when it comes down to this rock. Chest high cover, of course, decides to go and back up, wait for a few of his teammates to try and retake this one. Nameless currently getting that bomb down, of course, trying to earn toward those score streaks. Decides to back up and reevaluate the situation, of course. Look at the minimap right now. 2 players on one side, 2 players on the other for the side of Cloud9 as they look to try and retake, trying to pinch this hill out. Nagfin's here, EMC in hand. It'd be a difficult gunfight to win. If he can catch him off guard, that would be great, but not going to happen. Aches quick to shut him down, makes quick work of him, and it looks like more shots beginning to come in as now it's going to be Nameless left and up in a 1 versus 3. The pinch works out successfully, but Nameless is trying to stay alive, but he can't do it this time. Too many players, too much health, and a defuse there toward Patrick Price as him and the boys from Cloud9 are going to respond back with a round of their own.
Nothing Nameless could have done there. He was pinned in either way. His options go to the wall run or try to fight the 2 players out there by Crate. There's no way he would have been able to get out of his life by going into that back lab area, as you can see here in the final kill cam. Tries to slide out and contest Exotic, and Exotic is going to come out on top with that one. So now series tied up 1-1 here in this search and destroy on Crusher. Let's see how the side from Cloud9 is going to be able to add onto this one. Exotic starting 3-0. The rest of the team doing pretty good as well. See Nagafin, he has no sniper on, so jump back over towards Assault. Does have the bomb, the MV4 as per usual. Favoring over towards this B side, you're going to see the constant wraparound from the side of Evil Geniuses here. Bring up the big mini-map so you can see where these arrows are going. There's be some gunfights coming down here with player 2.
Exotic trying to make his way back. Actually, a team kill there comes in from Havoc on Parasite. That is absolutely monumental when it comes down to this retake, as they're going to be a man down, especially on a flank like that. They give away their position, but Nagafin quick to even the man count back out due to Havoc's mistake. Havoc, familiar with that bomb set, of course, finding that defuse in round number 1. A bit more of a difficult situation, but Nagafin continuing to do some damage. He'll actually find a few. That's going to be at least 3 kills, I believe, found in this round for him. And now Priesta left in a position to clutch 1 versus 1. Priesta versus Havoc. Who's going to win this one? Priesta will come out on top. Beautiful play there from Priesta, as it's now going to grant Cloud9 and back-to-back rounds, a clutching situation, but Priesta is there to file through. And a great turn on. Nice E-Rad shots there from Priesta, as that was just a solid head-on-head gunfight, which is won by the side of Cloud9.
Swapping back over we go to the boys and Evil Geniuses. Went off to a pretty slow start. Nagafin currently sitting at 3-3. Favoring over towards this A site. Looks like one player from Cloud9 is going to be there to try to contest. That's going to be Ace. The trophy system is going to come in, as well as the blast shield notification, but Priesta's going to be able to draw first blood there on Havoc, and Ace gets out with his life.
3v4. EG on offense. They've got some control over A, but it looks like you got to get another flank coming in, and this time from Cloud9. Taking a page out of EG's book, but Nameless actually spots one. Can he get the gunfight? One narrowly is able to find that one on Priesta, but more gunfights are beginning to happen. Exotic and the boys, Assault as well starting to respond. Nagafin now left in a 1 versus 2. Players just to his right shuts him down. Nagafin continuing to do damage. Finds 3 in the last round. Can he find another 3 here?
Another question, is he going to look down? No.
Player just behind him, and does Eggs actually shut him down? No, Eggs isn't able to find him, but FTL jump gets rocked from Nagafin. Who's going to win? And Eggs comes out on top.
See the final play there. Smart choice to try to go with the FTL jump for Nagafin. Gonna maybe look for him to maybe regen his health just a little bit, hit that slow roll, and then come out and try to do that again. But nice shots coming in there from Aches. He's able to finish off what looked to be a little shaky there for a second. It's gonna be Cloud9 with the lead here in Search and Destroy, 3-1 as they head back onto offense. We've seen them go to B twice now, but it looks like they might be set up here for an A hit. It's gonna be Exotic. He's picking up the bomb this time instead of Assault. And you're going to see the 4-man push from Evil Geniuses go over to B, so that A site is completely open. Now they have the signal to get that bomb down.
And Exotic planning in a position for him to most likely try and move forward here. Nameless firing some shots there. Going to take out X for that first blood. So with that, bomb is down like we said, and shots continue to rain from above. Priesta finding 2 there with the E-Rad, trying to make it another one. Nagafin ends up shutting down Assault, doing a great job in these last few rounds. Fortunately for him, though, not granting the victory when it comes down to the end. Now it's be left up to Priesta, 1 versus 2. A tall task, and Havoc is there. He will shut him down for the final 2, and that's going to be a defuse. So a nice responding round there for the side of Evil Geniuses. And the 2 Search and Destroy stars, like we said, both Nagafin and Havoc, both going to be on top after the end of this next round.
Yeah, you saw the experience with Search and Destroy from both teams there. As soon as it was in that 2v2 situation, every player tried to link up side by side. So excellent play there from Evil Geniuses coming out on top of those gunfights, and it's all thanks to Havoc's 1 versus 2. They're down at the bottom under Skybridge. See how they attack this offensive round. Let's also look at the defensive setup here for Cloud9. You're going to see a 1-2-1 split. One's going to be watching the cross over towards middle, and that is going to be Exotic, just trying to get the calls to see if anybody crosses over to B. But Assault is now going to get that call to say that these Evil Geniuses are pushing towards crates, and now you're going to start to see these arrows rotate around.
We'll see how Cloud9 vends to try and engage this one. We've seen constant times from EG. They love retaking sites, but they also like pushing through them quite a bit. And Exotic making Nagafin pay. More shots continue to follow through. Nameless and Havoc responding for at least a couple. Nameless going to back up and get that bomb down. Aches immediately after hearing and seeing that bomb come up. Going to try and engage, but no, Havoc coming from the skies. He'll find the final 2, and just like that, EG come back yet again. Just when we think that Cloud9 can start to respond and start to get some life forward, EG respond with rounds and back-to-back ones as Havoc, speaking of back-to-back, he'll find 2 kills.
Nice little snap there coming from Havoc on that last player. Now it is going to be tied up at 3 rounds apiece. Guys are just tuning in. This is an elimination match. The loser of this will be eliminated from CWL Anaheim. Right now, things are looking good. It's going to be Cloud9 holding the series lead 1-0. They're looking very good in the search and destroy as well, but it's neck and neck. Two players going to be playing defense, going to be Nagafin and Havoc. All the way there in the back. We're now going to see a three-man hit coming out from the side of Cloud9. You see those arrows rotating for Evil Geniuses coming around to B.
EG looking to try and retake, but little do they know that Cloud9 is actually flanking right now. Parasite ends up actually killing himself, and before I can even utter the words, the round is over, and Cloud9 immediately sweep this one. EG completely getting caught off guard. I'm not sure exactly what happened to Parasite in that situation. Was actually able to look at what happened. Not sure if he fell off the map or what exactly went down, but that was a round that was destined to go Cloud9's way. EG was set up pretty well, but in the end, Cloud9 just way too aggressive. Those E-Rads constantly being a nuisance. We also talk about the payload progression on the side of Cloud9. Priest currently with that reactive armor, I believe Exotic as well with his payload. We'll see what EG can vent to do here when it comes down to offense. Parasite this time finding the first blood, making up for that mistake in the prior round. EG rushing right now through A.
Salt is going to be there to try to back up Exotic, but Exotic does fall. So now Salt is left last alive in a 1 versus 3 situation. So he gets this. He has the intel of where the players are going to be. He sees 2 cross over there, so now this is his cue to back up. Trying to get positioning over here in A. But it looks like the Evil Geniuses players are going to go ahead and wrap around to B, but no, they're going to hit the horseshoe. Assault is being pushed, and Havoc is going to come out with the kill. Now it is going to be tied up at 4 apiece.
Back and forth we go, man. I mean, it's just, at times you think, okay, EG's looking pretty solid at the beginning of the game. Cloud9 starts to respond. Maybe Cloud9 can take this game. Then here comes EG back again. This just goes to show when it comes into search and destroy how even these teams really are. And I think, to be honest with you, we also look at Exotic and Priesta from Cloud9, the 2 recent additions, both doing very well when it comes down to the search and destroy. Priesta currently leading as far as kills, not just for his team, but for the entire lobby at 8 and 5. And they've definitely made Cloud9 an even better search and destroy team. We'll see if that can grant them a victory and put them up 2-0 if Evil Geniuses can respond here at 1-1 overall.
They're going forward now. Priesta is going to be leading the charge. You see the wraparound coming from middle map. There's still 1 player sitting all the way over by B. That's going to be Nameless. Now shots are going to be coming in from the horseshoe. It's going to be Nagafin opening things up with a big 2-piece there. Now it's going to be up to Exotic and Assault to try to clutch up here in a 2 versus 4. Exotic gets some shots down. They're able to get that, but the trade comes in from Havoc. Assault finds 1,
Ooh.
but Parasite is going to be able to clean that up.
Looked like a little bit of a misplay there coming in from the set of Cloud9 there toward you. Of course, the call-out kind of comes in a little bit late, but Nagafin's able to find 2 right next to each other. Maybe a little bit of a missed call-out potentially from the side of Cloud9. Can't afford to make mistakes now. Is EG going to be up 5 rounds to 4. How do Cloud9 vent to play this exactly, as they will be on the defensive? Looks like they are going to be sending pretty much a full line, essentially, looking for A toward B. Of course, you see Nagafin there with that sniper rifle. Nearly takes the head off of Assault. Here's that bullet whistle right past his ear, and he's going to call it to his teammates, letting them know that this push is ready to happen. Nagafin feeling very aggressive right now with that sniper rifle. Has no issue getting in the face of the enemies, as he wants to close this round out here and now. Reactive armor gets rocked. Nagafin actually skying above everybody else. Kills start to come in, and now it's going to be left up to Havoc. And a 1-on-3 has the reactive armor, but not probably the greatest situation to try and use it unless he can find a few kills. Trying to escape, trying to go on the wall run. I believe he spots 1 player toward that side rock area, as this is going to be a very difficult gunfight to engage upon, as they're going to all rush behind him. And just like that, Dirk, we are going to a round 11.
The positive there is see Havoc. He saved that reactive armor, which can be very big, and now you know that Priesta burned his. So this gives Evil Geniuses that advantage that they need. This could be where Havoc can start to hit those wall runs and lead that charge inside. But we'll see how it goes. It's going to be a round 11 coming up here between both sides of Cloud9 and Evil Geniuses. We'll see how this one goes. Our main player to watch here in this round 11 is 100% going to be Havoc, and they find themselves on the defensive side.
Looks like we're going to see a pretty standard B hit, so we're going to come down to gunfights as well, as that first blood going to play absolutely huge. Gunfights already beginning to happen, starting to engage. We'll see what exactly Cloud9 vents to do here. They're actually going to go and back up. They realize that EG is pushed way too far, way too aggressive, and they both know exactly what's going on here. Cloud9 rushing to A, and EG trying to beat them there. As Havoc rotating around, we talk about how important this payload is for him. He needs to make sure he rocks the reactive armor, but can't die in the situation. Rocks the reactive armor, finds 1, but quickly drops. Assault is able to get the bomb down, but Nameless is now left in a position to clutch. And all to do, Nameless, to try and bring your team back into this one. The remaining round. Spotting one player through middle. Can he win the gunfight? Extra shots onto Iggs, but no, can't find that one. Not a whole lot of time, and Cloud9 just really needs to play pretty static. Make him waste time. Nameless has got to make his way forward. He just doesn't have time at this point. It just doesn't seem likely anymore. And just like that, Cloud9 in round 11 will clutch it up as they're going to win this one 6 rounds to 5 and now be up in the series 2 games to 0.
A rough one for Evil Geniuses, losing that one in round 11. Now they're going to be going into uplink. And we saw how their uplink played yesterday. It wasn't too bad, but one of the things that we have to highlight was that payload usage. They went a lot of the game where players just, oh, hey, I'm not going to use it. I'm fine. They just waited till the last second to even think about trying to use that too. In my opinion, I think I see Cloud9 closing this out 3-0.
I did too, man. And one thing I want to kind of talk about throughout that search story, that round 11, a little bit of a highlight to kind of talk about. Cloud9, of course, on the offensive, definitely not the side that you prefer to be on. Is a great play when it came down to B. They obviously realized the side of EG making a very aggressive play. They have no issue. You know what? As a team, let's make this way forward. Let's rotate to the opposite bomb site. And it obviously works out for them.
Yeah, this is win or go home. Coming up next, we're going to have uplink for you guys between the sides of Cloud9 and Evil Geniuses. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CWL Anaheim 2017, presented by PS4. We have a winner-go-home match all on the line here. Evil Geniuses needs to have the miracle reverse sweep against Cloud9, but with how Cloud9 is playing, it's going to be hard to do. I'm Dirk, joined alongside Landon. We're going to be bringing you guys the action throughout the rest of this series. And what a one it has been so far. Round 11, Search and Destroy, a hard point that came down to the wire as well. It's what we love to see here on Championship Sunday.
Oh, absolutely. We love to see close matches. Unfortunately, if you are an Evil Geniuses fan, these close matches They're making you lose your hair at this point. I mean, we've seen, like I said, around 11, a very close hard point as well. And with that, obviously, we do see Cloud9 up currently 2-0. But let's go and take a look, actually, at some of the influencers when it comes down to the remaining of this series. It's currently going to be our G Fuel key player matchup. Exotic going up against Nagafin. Dirk, tell me, what exactly have we seen from these guys so far throughout this weekend?
From the side of Exotic, you've seen consistency all around in every single type of game type. I mean, if you want to set the boundary as having a 1.0 is where you need to be in hardpoint, I guess you could say Nagafin is slacking. But just from going and watching the gameplay, he's a very unselfish guy. He's going to be the guy who's a lot of the bait. He leads the charge for the side of Evil Geniuses a lot of the time. He's sitting at a 0.95. But then you look at the SMD KD. That's going to be the one that's leading. And we always know with Nagafin, that is a statistic that is going to be his highest. And then an uplink 1.07, something to highlight from yesterday. The plays we saw from Nagafin gunning up into the enemy base and slaying out, sort of like a Nagafin that a monster Nagafin, we'll say that, a slaying Nagafin in that sense, was doing an excellent job of being the lead blocker for his team.
And one thing that I actually want to point out from Exotic as well is that this time around, actually this time nearly last year as well, I was actually casting over at Exotic at a local Canadian tournament called EGLX, where he was actually kind of becoming a rising star, and through that he ended up finding Holler, currently a player for the side of Era, and due to that, he ended up joining alongside a TK. So this guy is he's an up and coming guy. And now he finds himself on Championship Sunday here at CWL Anaheim, placing or potentially playing for top 4. Just goes to show, man, if you have gun skill, if you work on your craft and you do it enough, it only takes, I mean, you can do it in just a short period of time. That's exactly what Exotic has done.
Yeah, you definitely can. Let's go ahead and break down that whole entire S&D match. We have the lovely box score provided to us here. Going to see that first round went to Evil Geniuses, and then the next 3 went to the side of Cloud9. Evil Geniuses takes 2, and it just kind of bounces back and forth from there. And in the round 11, it was Cloud9 coming up on top. And you see the man Priest dropping 11 kills, a 1.57 KD. And then Havoc, he was the guy that we were watching a majority of the time. 9 kills for him and a 1.12. He's been doing a lot for his team these past couple series.
Indeed, he has. And of course, like you said, players we're looking at here at the bottom, Priest at 11-7, 1.57 KD, and Havoc as well at 9-8. Did as much as he could, but in the end, it just didn't equal out to enough of a result. So with that, EG, you're down 0-2. Nameless probably trying to do his best to give his team a little bit of a talk in some cases to try and give them a little bit of momentum when it comes down to this uplink. But when it comes down to Frost, expect a lot of ERAD play. I've seen quite a bit from obviously Nagafin as well as Havoc from the EG side, and of course you got to be looking at Exotic as well as Priest, the new additions to this Cloud9 roster with those ERADs as well.
That's one of the things too. They brought in Parasite in place of Study to be that vocal leader, be their shot caller in a sense. This is also a guy who can go on tilt pretty quickly once they start losing.
Fair to say, yeah.
The way I look at Parasite, I mean, anybody watches at home and those 8 streams, he's always the guy that's the target for anything. And he has a short fuse when it comes down to it as well. But when he starts to lose and you start to see him sort of fold, I feel like Nameless is more of that guy who brings that group back to try to get to that level head, as they say, regain. That's what they need to try to do here in this uplink. But from what we saw yesterday, we saw that the biggest weakness and one of the biggest things when it comes down to uplink is those payloads, not using them effectively. I mean, we saw Parasite go without using an overdrive for, I think, 2 minutes there left in the second half, which ultimately kind of costed them the game in a sense as well. So that's going to be one of my things to look out for, is how well are they going to utilize those payloads.
Yeah, the active camo, the overdrive as well, definitely 2 major influencers when it comes down to the payloads, like you just mentioned, Dirk. Those can nearly guarantee you at least a 1 or 2 point play when it comes down to it. But like you said, when it comes down to the composition of Evil Geniuses, this new addition of Parasite, how does he kind of, in some cases, influence the roster? Now, of course, kind of coming in for Study. And what I was actually able to witness throughout the EG decline in some cases with Study being on the team is that they would, like you said, go on tilt pretty easily. It seemed that really, it's almost like that Nameless was being a great vocal leader and doing his absolute best, and Havoc was trying to be as positive as possible. But it was just that there wasn't another vocal leader. It was like there wasn't another veteran to kind of stay alongside him and say, you know what, everything's going to be good. Parasite, of course, in the past hasn't had the best track record with kind of being in that particular role, but I think being alongside of course, an old teammate, a friend, and Nameless as well, kind of going back even to Black Ops 2, previous teammates who've been playing for a very long time, 2 very long-standing veterans who've played with each other in the past. I think they do work together well when it comes down to that chemistry factor and kind of being, in some cases, the lead veterans, the lead roles to this team.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth mentioning, too, Parasite's transformation here in Infinite Warfare. He was one of those players who, at the start of this, was on the hate train. He didn't like playing this game at all, and he let people know it. But now with the league coming up and everything like that, he started to put a lot of work into this game, and now he's finding himself on the spot on the roster for Evil Geniuses as well. It's going to be definitely a player to watch here, but now Are Evil Geniuses going to be able to start here to try to make that reverse sweep happen? We'll find out. We're going to stay on board with Nagafin, the guy that we looked at in our G Fuel key player matchup. He's going to be pushing over here towards Ice Cliff.
DD's early plays being made toward that drone. Ix shutting down Parasite early on, but Nagafin trying to get involved with the kill feed as well toward that ice side. Drone already going to pick up their pass coming in, and Cloud9 already working on that communication. Ix goes for the 1-point play, and within the first 20 seconds, we've already seen a score on the board. That one going over to C9.
We talked about Priest and Exotic being the young guns and how aggressive these guys play. This is definitely a map that favors them 100%. So look for them to try to abuse that on the side of Evil Geniuses. Gonna get that drone pushed up. Exotic utilizing that high wall run. Should be able to get out here and get the 1-point toss, but he's gonna get greedy, go for the 2, and it is gonna pay off. 3 points on the board within the first minute of this match.
EG, man, you'd think that they would try to come out with some fire, but Cloud9 has done the exact opposite of that. They have completely come out and surprised. Priesta finding 2, finding 3. Beautiful plays coming in from the side of Cloud9. That pass getting ready to most likely come in from Assault, or he might use those players as lead blockers. Assault wants to go all the way. Here comes the 2-point jam, and there it is. Cloud9 now up 5 points to 0. EG already starting to show signs of difficulties. And Exotic finally ends up dropping, but just like that, I mean, this is already a 3-possession game, and the game just started, Dirk.
Yeah, it definitely did. And now Evil Geniuses are going to be pushing onto this drone site. 3-kill streak for Nameless is something you need to see go off as well in the slaying department. He's pushing straight through blue, but shots are going to be coming from both sides. He will be dropped, but now Parasite picks up that drone, trying to get off the 1-point toss. Not going to be able to do that. So now Priest and crew are going to be attacking from blue. Well, that rhymed. They're going to be attacking from this cliff side right here. And now Aches is going to be leading the charge for Cloud9.
GD is. Priest tossing that drone down. Aches ends up following Exotic. Still here with the E-Rad. Able to find that one, but of course the push will be ended pretty quick. EG actually getting some nice spawns there over toward that back red side, and that's actually going to lead to them having a pretty quick scoring opportunity. Question is Cloud9 realize how fast this push is happening. Nagafin finds 2. Player being extracted as Exotic. Can he fire it in? But no, that one just goes over. Wherever's the rebound at, it's actually going to be there for Assault, so a huge misplay from the side of Evil Geniuses. They get blessed with a beautiful spawn toward that side red. They make a push happen, but the scoring opportunity is not there. Cloud9 still up 5 points to 0.
You can see Nagafin starts to get things going, picking up a nice 2-piece airman. Now 3 players are going to be dead. Aches is going to be last alive. And now this is where Evil Geniuses really needs to capitalize on those players being down. You see the drone finally being picked up by Havoc, and they're just tossing it forward for yards. But those individual one-on-one gunfights are going all in Cloud9's favor. You see a nice little bait and switch coming here, and the pinch comes down to shut Havoc off the cliff. Now Priesta and crew are going to be rallying this drone through red. Currently sitting at 10-6 is Priesta. We've already seen some nasty stuff from him in this game. 4-22 is though it's going to be spamming there, but Priesta does fall off the map.
Sad but true. EG now with some signs of life, some positives there coming after Priesta falling off the map. Drone reset. Havoc now with the drone in his hands. He'll quickly drop Parasites there to try and rebound there potentially, as he'll also fall as well. So gunfight's going down inside of blue. Nameless has no teammate support, and this is not looking like a push that's going to happen. But Nameless actually finding 1, finding 2. Give me those. Tries to find the 3rd. Here comes the beatdown, but can he find it? No. Assault will make him pay for it. Just when we start to think the EG has something going for them, C9 is there for the response. Assault will fall off the map, but it doesn't matter. It's a worthy exchange because the defensive play will come in yet again.
That was such a risky play because Assault tries to get the beat down there on Nameless, knowing he has that extra armor with the drone in hand. And Exotic picks up a 2-piece. Assault's going to be there to clean up another play from the side of Evil Geniuses. Patrick Price Aches trying to push that drone up forward. Exotic is going to have some shots tagged up onto him, but now you're starting to see Cloud9 get hot once more. They're getting that aggression going. Assault might be able to get a 1-point toss off here, but no, it is going to be intercepted there by Havoc.
Havoc, known for his volleyball skills, but he's got some basketball skills as well, able to get that block off, and now EG might have a run to go forward with 49 seconds left, and unfortunately that drone ends up dropping off the map, and Nagafin's now left in Cloud9's base. But little does he know the drone's being moved forward. Priesta might have an opportunity for the 1-point play, but can this one be stopped? Havoc yet again, back-to-back defensive plays, stopping 2 points in different occasions from going down. Great plays from Havoc, but can this time EG get a scoring opportunity on the board? 25 seconds left in this first half.
Yeah, they're definitely just going to need to at least try to get a one off here. We're on board with Aches. He's going to be able to take out Parasite there. Nameless is going to be the last play for Evil Genius, just to try to contest anything going on this drone. He spots Exotic. We see the teammate support slowly starting to come in for the side of Cloud9 as Nagafin is working his way around the wall run. But now it's going to be 4 players there for Evil Genius. But surely they're not going to be able to get a 1-point toss off here to close this one. But they might just do that. Priest that tosses it up, and it is going to hit. That's going to be 6-0 going into the second half.
Great plays there from the side of Cloud9. EG, they had their moments. They had a number of different defensive stops, but in the end, we saw the rally of scores that ended up dropping. And of course, occasionally you're going to let a 1-point toss slide here or there, but Priesta finding the nice buzzer beater toward the end. So with that, 6 points to 0. We'll see how EG can respond potentially the last 5 minutes of their run here at CWL Anaheim.
See what Exotic and crew is going to be able to do. Player 8, right beside him is going to be Priesta. His duo going to be able to find 2 kills there, make that 3. Now Nameless is going to be left last alive. He's able to take out a couple. He finds 2, but 1 player comes from behind, and now he is going to be shut down. It's Assault and crew. The drone might roll off the map. It looks like it's going to be stationary for the time being. Just waiting to slay out the opponents who are going to be pushing over from this blue side. He spots 2, hitting that lower wall run. He's able to take out 1, but now Exotic and Aches are going to be there to try to clean up Nameless. But another 2-piece coming in. You need Nameless to start wheeling. He's currently on a 3-kill streak, sitting at 18 and 13.
Nameless has been the factor in a lot of their series, the reasoning why they've had a whole lot of success so far at CWL Anaheim. Havoc now with the drone in his hands. Lead blocker going to be Nameless. How long can he stay alive? Actually shuts down Assault. Parasite is there as well. Can a scoring opportunity happen? Can EG finally get on the board? They want the 1, but no, they want the 2 more. And just like that, Havoc will respond, making defensive and offensive plays happen. But that was all due to the play of both Nameless and Parasite as well. Nameless now on a 7 spree at the moment.
Nameless is continuing to go forward, but he is finally going to be shut down. Now it's going to be Nagafin with Parasite and Havoc up to make a push towards this subway. Kills are going to be traded there, so now it's a 3 versus 3. Nagafin going to decide to wrap back all the way over to the ice cliff. The drone is going to be tossed forward. Just needs to make sure that doesn't fall off the map. But now it's time for him to slay. He takes out Exotic. Parasite takes out Assault as well. They're in a good position to try to get a score here, but they're taking so much time trying to pick. Do we want to go through red, or are we going to push through subway? It looks like the final choice is definitely going to be sub.
It is. Shots coming down through Robot Bay, and it looks like it's going to be an advantage toward the side of Cloud9 for the time. Players being dropped over toward that side ship. 1 player toward the bottom. That's actually going to be Nameless. A little bit of a nice wall run there coming in from Assault. Aches picks up the drone only for a time to try to toss that one down. A nice melee, actually, coming in there on Havoc. Moving his way forward. Aches does it yet again. Makes the offensive plays happen. It looks like they are going to have a free 2-point play. Cloud9 yet again getting inside EG's base and making them pay for it. And on the overextension, it looks like there's also gunfights going down. Priest is here. He wants another play to happen. He actually back the wrong way, and he'll actually end up dropping in that case. But either way, solid plays coming in from the guys on Cloud9, being aware on both ends of the map.
Yeah, you see the difference in playstyle between these 2 teams. Cloud9 is perfectly okay with letting that drone sit, slaying out. They have that confidence to win those gunfights, and just like that, another clean sweep of Evil Genius. Priesta is going to be rocking that overdrive. The players are going to be spawning up on base, and mama, there goes that man. He gets the 1-point toss in. Score is now 9-2.
Beautiful play there from Priesta. 9-2 advantage right now from the side of Cloud9. They have taken the lead, and they have not looked back. Exotic now, drone in his hand. Streaks start to come down and trying to help with the assistance of that scoring opportunity. 1 player here, that's going to be Havoc. Priesta shuts him down, and Exotic going to go for the play as well. And Exotic fires in the 1-point toss. 10-2, Cloud9 with the advantage, and just under 2 minutes remaining in this second half. EG, your backs are against the wall.
They need to score 8 points in the span of 1 minute and 40 seconds. The streaks are starting to rain in from the heavens. That's coming in from the side of Cloud9. Priesta now is going to opt to use that bombardment there as well. The drone is going to be tossed all the way back towards Exotic. He's going to be the one to retrieve. Toss it down to Robot Bay. Nagafin's going to come around. He's going to be able to withdraw first blood there. And now 2 more kills follow that. Pushing this one forward. Here they go. Nagafin goes in for the dunk. And Mamma Mia, this is where things are going to start to get interesting. 1 minute and 15 seconds left.
EG down, but they're not out as of yet. They still do have a few payloads left to work with, but Parasite not even actually respond for a few. Centurion coming in. Parasite now with the overdrive has to get forward. Run, my friend. You've got to get going, Parasite. You need to actually act as a lead blocker in some cases. Here comes one. The toss coming through. The assistance is here. Havoc needs to go big, and he'll be able to make that one happen. Here comes the two-point play. Havoc, for a moment, was the only player alive on the map, and they are still in this one. EG, you're not done just yet. 45 seconds remain, and Cloud9 trying to hold on to the slim lead, but here come the streaks. They start to come down. 3 drop yet again from Cloud9. Here comes the push from Nameless, needing the assistance of that lead blocker, making his way now through robots. He's got some support, and here comes EG. Here comes the two-point play, and they're able to fire it in. EG now only down by 2 points. 23 seconds left, but Nagafin actually has the drone come down. He has no teammate support. How does he play this one? Nameless is coming from behind. The active camo gets rocked. Assault might just try to go on the wall run, and it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. EG, you've got to shut down Assault immediately because he's just trying to stay up. Here comes the drone. It's going to come down. Is there anyone in play for it? And it looks like no one's going to be there, and Cloud9 will hold on just at the end. EG, you made it close. You did your best, but the lead was just too strong as Cloud9 will walk away with the 3-0 sweep, and Exotic finding the 2 in the round-ending kill.
That was another questionable overdrive coming from Parasite.
I mean, it is, but it's like, I don't know. I really don't know what else he could have done in that play, because of course they get the two-point play out of it in the end, but realistically, Cloud9 just does a good job of getting the drone in their hands. Of course, the active camo gets rocked. I think that was a beautiful play from Assault there at the end, just using the active camo, and also a heads-up play, because had Cloud9 not had that lead, or since they do have that lead, he actually gets to save the active camo in some cases for a defensive use. So, honestly, active camo, great play there from Assault at the end, but yeah, had Parasite maybe saved that, it could have maybe worked out for a scoring opportunity. Of course, we'll never know, but obviously Cloud9 comes away with the 3-0 sweep.
Every series was very, very close. Throwback Hardpoint finished at 250 to 203 in favor of Cloud9. We went to Crusher, Search, and Destroy. That went all the way to distance to round 11. That one finished 6-5. Then Frost Uplink, it looked like Evil Geniuses was about to send that one into overtime, but Cloud9 was able to come up, and like you said, you highlight the defensive play coming in from the side of Assault, using that camo and hitting that lower wall run. But I still think back, I just think Parasite could have had a better use of overdrive. You can pick up that drone and get into sub-bay just by running by yourself and get there quickly. Usually you want to see that overdrive go through and then just set you up for a scoring time, because you saw him, he used it. When it was still active, he threw the drone on the ground. You need that overdrive guy to have that drone to try to push in for a dunk or at least a one-point play.
Yeah, of course, he tries to get out of that position. Of course, we can try to rewind that one and maybe go back and try to dissect the gameplay. But in some ways, EG, they were on the back foot. And honestly, they did a fantastic job at trying to make the comeback. For a moment, I thought it was going to happen. Nagafin, Havoc, they were slaying out. Nameless was doing it prior as well. So with that, pretty interesting game, but in the end, it's a 3-0 sweep from Cloud9.
Cloud9 is going to continue on, and Evil Geniuses falls short, and they will be eliminated from CWL Anaheim. But guys, when we do come back, we'll have another great game. It's going to be Cloud9 taking on Splice. Don't go anywhere.